Hello, this is Anti-Darwin. Today I have a very good game with me, a game which was posted by my friend KanesWrath, and it's a game versus Kiwi. Kiwi is back from retirement. He's playing a lot these days, and once again I'm bringing you another special guest, and his name is none other than GbhMicheal. Hello, GbH.
Hello. How you doing?
How are you, GbH?
Yeah, I'm not bad myself.
And can you tell me about yourself?
Um, yeah, sure. I have been playing Red Alert on PC for about 7 months now. But before that, I used to play Xbox. I think it was about 3 years overall. So I'm a Soviet player, and I think I'm improving quite a bit. But there's still some more work to do.
And GbH, are you which country do you belong to?
I'm from England myself.
Okay, but somehow I it seems you have a you sound more Scottish. I don't know why.
Scottish?
Yes.
No. Definitely
Yes.
not. No, I'm not Scottish.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
no.
Okay. Maybe I'm not familiar with the accents or something. Okay. Okay. Tell me about these two players, KanesWrath and Kiwi. Do you have some idea about them?
Yes, Kiwi is one of the top Soviet players from what I've seen. Um, he's up there at the top with like Dan Cal and Tingu and all that. And Kane's Wrath, he seems to be he's quite a good Empire player. He seems to be highly ranked on the leaderboard a lot of the time and seems to compete with all the good players. So this should turn out to be a good match.
And this map, GPH, Temple Prime, isn't this very confusing map? Because if you saw a cast between when me and Zodwin were doing, and it was quite a beginner level game, we talked about that the distance on the land is quite small, even though on the map it seems a lot of distance, but due to the sea involved and the water involved, the distance seems is actually very small. Is that true?
I don't agree, really. I still think this is quite a big map for land. You might be comparing to like Cabana Republic, where that on land, the distance between the two bases is absolutely massive. But I still think on this map it is quite a big distance between the base. You can't just like build a dock and go to the other side of the map in like 5 seconds or something, like on Infinity Isle or something.
Okay. Okay, let's start the match. Press escape.
Okay.
On the right hand side, on the east side, we have KanesWrath with his empire, and on the left hand side, we have Kiwi with the random Soviets. Somehow, Kiwi is very lucky by having his best faction.
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing Kivi playing random. Is it? I think it must be quite new.
No,
I'm
but
always used to seeing him playing Soviets straight up.
recently, from 3 4 months, I have noticed Kiwi just isn't that serious in playing the ladder, and he
Uh,
always plays random at the start of the month because he's also a very decent Empire and Allies player, better than most players around.
I guess when you are a good player like Kiwi, I guess it just adds a little bit more fun into the game. If it's playing random, it just mixes it up a little bit, really. Especially early on the ladder because you're not guaranteed to play only good players.
So GBH, tell me what's happening. Kiwi is going for a super reactor first.
Yes, he seems to be doing a fairly standard build, going for one racks, going and getting that oil derrick up. But he seems to be getting a lot of flak troopers, much more than general. He must be going. It seems like he's going to be doing quite a defensive play style at the start. this
Well,
many flak troopers just to garrison in those buildings next to the refinery.
yes,
Um,
he's making
Really
sure he's
expensive.
getting inside those garrison structures and
It's
setting those walls
generally players only get one flak troop or
deliberately,
something per turn.
if so that he cannot be Tenju spammed. You are right there, GbH. And
Generally, there's only like one flak trooper in that building though for most players. It's quite surprising to see so many.
and the now here we see KanesWrath has sold his dojo core and is going with three busters, tech busters somehow.
Yes, that could be quite an effective strategy if you can get behind the super reactor and start like harassing the refineries from the back, so the garrisons don't actually come into play. Then that could be quite deadly, really. But
G
it just looks like he's going to be going to try to harass these oil derricks right now.
Yes, he's exactly doing what you were saying, GBH. He's gonna destroy this oil derrick, and this will give him a slight economic advantage. And one thing I've noticed about Kiwi is that he's one of those players that he never destroys the oil derricks. He'll always, if you capture the oil, he will somehow attempt during the middle of the game, when he has map control at that time, he will recapture that oil derrick. But some people are really not patient with these oils, and it's just about habits, I guess. They destroy the oil derrick.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great idea to try to recapture the oil derricks against Empire on a big map like this, because like Tengus and VXs can get around the map so easily and just destroy it before you can even do anything. Because if you recapture it, it's unlikely that you're going to actually get the 500 resources back that you paid for the engineer in the oil derrick.
Now Kiwi has cancelled his refinery at the southwestern site because he has noticed and scouted this docks, which has been positioned in a very unusual position by KanesWrath.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to hide it. He doesn't want him to know that he's going for the naval yard, so he can catch that refinery like unprotected. But Kiwi's on top of his game. He's scouted it. He's ready for it.
And Kiwi has responded and has adjusted to the situation and has made wisely a Tesla coil, and then he's making a refinery.
Yes, but building that Tesla coil, it's very expensive, so it will take a while to get that third refinery up and running. But it definitely is worth it, in my opinion. Like getting that Tesla coil.
Yes, and later on many Soviet players, after they place their third or fourth refinery, they make a lot of twin blades and mixed with bullfrogs, so they can also opt to sell that Tesla coil even, because the twin blades make easy work of any unit in the game that Empire throws at them.
I agree, especially in the water. When you get to the twin blade stage, it just means that you have like units, not just turrets that can defend the water refineries. And especially on this map as well, because it is quite big, twin blades can be very effective. Twin frog especially, because it's easy to harass the naval refineries. It's the same thing really. Is if you can defend the water refs, you can harass the water refs. Looks like KanesWrath is trying to be aggressive with some Tengus and a sudden transport, but that was nullified quite easily by Kibi there.
Yes, Kiwi is one of those players who is known for his excellent defense, and he uses one of the reason why he's always so successful with defending himself most of the times is that he uses the terror drone's second ability, the stasis ray, more often than other players do, and he has the right units at the right time. The reason for that being is that he's also a grouper. He always groups all the units, whichever important units, he's always grouping them. Like he has grouped this terror drone right now.
Yes, groups are very important, especially in like high level play. Just so you can get that slight edge on speed. It makes such a big difference.
Now Kiwi has really taken down a lot of units of KanesWrath by making such less units, like only one terror drone and one tank and a couple of he should have infect that tank, but
Yes, I noticed that.
he just
But
lost it. He lost the terror drone. Mistake by Kiwi.
yeah, he mustn't have been taking 100% notice. But everyone makes mistakes.
What
But I have
happened
noticed
over
though
there
that,
on the southeastern side? There was an attempt from Kiwi with a terror drone trying to harass KanesWrath oil ore collector, and KanesWrath somehow killed it.
yes, but if he did infect that harvester, he does have the naval yard nearby, so he might have been able to go back and heal that.
No, I'm talking about the top refinery.
Oh, the top right.
Yes, the top right, the northeastern refinery.
Yes, that could have been quite devastating.
And KanesWrath is making a docks just now, another docks next to this refinery as well. So he has two docks right now. This is very good defensive play from KanesWrath, and it's very cheap having a docks, because it's only 1000k. Most Empire players wouldn't do that, to be honest, because they would argue that this is losing a lot of power, and also it's but still I think it's a very safe thing to do, to be honest. Now he's attacking that MCV which Kiwi placed.
Yes, he's just he's out of position with that MCV right now, with all of those tsunami tanks. It was just doomed from the start. It was never going to get out of there. But right now it seems like all the tsunami tanks are they're just getting crushed in the middle. He's done a lot of damage, but he has killed the MCV as well. But he has lost a lot of units.
Yes, the temple, Kiwi has controlled the temple and somehow have enticed KanesWrath to come after him, and with these Tesla troopers, the tanks really stand no chance. But KanesWrath is still coming with these tanks and going after the ore collector, but he has lost a lot of army there.
By the looks of it, it looks like Kiwi is going to make a counter push after this, because he seems to have a much bigger army. I think he could do quite a bit of damage with that. It looks like Kane might be in some trouble.
Yes, Kiwi knows for a fact that economically KanesWrath has an oil derrick for a long time now, and he has 3 refineries. I think Kiwi thinks that KanesWrath has 3 refineries, not 4 refineries, because he hasn't scouted his 4th refinery down south. So this means Kiwi still realizes that economically he's behind, and he has to attack like you predicted. He's doing just that, GbH.
I'm surprised he's actually keeping that oil derrick alive, though. You were right at the start by saying he's one of those players that just doesn't get rid of them. But if he's not going to get rid of it, it would still be worth capturing. It looks like Kane's trying to do some harassment on the bottom left refinery right now with some Yari subs, taking down the Tesla coil with the last voyage ability, and he's successfully taken down the refinery.
Yes, he has done exactly that, GbH, and so this means that Kiwi is on 4 refineries actually, and he has remade his MCV. He has timed his MCV to perfection, to be honest. And Kiwi is also killing that oil derrick.
Yes, that's definitely paid for itself for Kane. He's got a lot of money for that. But something I've noticed is that Kane is still building a couple more Yari subs. And even though he knows that there are no sea refineries or anything in the sea from Kiwi, I think he just wants to make sure that he keeps the water dominance, just so he just doesn't want to take any risks there.
Yes, like I said that um, KanesWrath is anticipating what if Kiwi makes twin blades and he somehow gathers map control or like the sea or something. Um, Now we see an attack from Kiwi, and he has successfully killed a tank with the leech beam.
Yes, he also used the Desolator to split the infantry from the main force, so that means he can do a lot more damage than he could have done if it was
This
all
is a
grouped together.
vicious attack from Kiwi, really, because he has really, like you said, splitted those army, those busters, and really he's giving KanesWrath a lot of issues over here.
He actually had one chance to with the Tesla Trooper to stun four tsunami tanks, but I don't think he noticed. If he did that, he could have done a devastating amount of damage, taking absolutely no damage either.
KanesWrath has placed his three VXs and is not giving them away to those bullfrogs, and he's just placed them down,
I
protecting
feel like
them.
the only chance that he's got is to lift them up and try to kill that tank, because the bullfrogs aren't next to the tanks, so the tanks are just going to die. Yes, like yeah, he's just done that. So now we successfully held off the army, and he might be okay.
Yes, but
Somehow
the
he's
Tesla, you notice that KanesWrath has sold two power plants to kill two flank troopers, and also he is really having problems with that Tesla trooper attacking his refinery.
Yes, but after his bullfrogs have left the base, the VXs can just lift up and just rain havoc upon everything really.
Now GbH, he's on tier 3, trying to go to tier 3 for a long time, KanesWrath, and he's really looking to go to tier 3, and Kiwi is moving his MCV towards that fourth refinery spot on land once again.
Where is Kiwi's MCV? I can't find it right now. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I got lost for a minute.
And
Losing a
the
losing a
VXs, the
in action.
VXs are coming for his MCV.
It was worth a try. Just trying to get whatever damage in, but
He
the
lost. He
bullfrogs in
lost one.
position.
He lost one VX, and this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. That Kiwi is very good in making groups of units. I have talked to him a lot about this. I have seen him analyze his replays on United Forums website, and he makes a lot of groups, and he is spamming and selecting these groups a lot. This means that most of the times he will be in the right position all the time with his units.
Yeah, it just helps him keep his map vision up. It means he's looking at the mini map more often, so he can see attacks, so he can like anticipate attacks coming, so he can be ready for them. But it looks like Kane has his tier 3 out right now and has one Wave Force Artillery and a King Oni. So this could be quite a deadly army.
Yes, and Kiwi somehow doesn't have that much hammer tanks, and it surprises me, GbH. And now I have to say, use the word surprise is that Kiwi has has opted not to go for an airfield this game. This is quite surprising, even though this has been a really good match. But if he would have gone for an airfield, KanesWrath would have problems going tier 3 even so easily. Tier 3 is really dangerous for Soviets, and most Soviet players make a lot of twin blades versus tier 3.
Yes, generally, if I haven't got an airfield or any twin blades up, as soon as I see any tier 3 unit, twin blades are a must. You need to get them. They're unbelievably useful against it.
And the wave 4 artillery is a very dangerous unit. Like in 1 second it kills a terror drone if you press F quickly. It's a very dangerous unit versus units versus everything.
It's especially deadly against big armies because of the splash damage. It just shoots through. It can shoot through multiple units at the same time, and killing them all in one. So against like an army of tanks, it could just kill like 5 tanks in one shot, which, unless if the tanks were positioned badly, could be.
Michael, what's happening with those Kingonis? KanesWrath is losing them to nothing, and he's really in a spot of bother, KanesWrath.
Oh, I think I might have a problem. The game's closed for me. Okay.
GbH, now these two of these Kingonis have been killed, and 2 hammer tanks have second weapon as well.
But at the same time, he has taken out the super reactor at the back of Kivi's base with the sudden transport and tank busters. He was probably concentrating on that at the same time.
I didn't see that, GbH. How can KanesWrath deceive me as well? This is excellent tactics from KanesWrath.
Managed to take over one of the King Oldies with Natasha's pilot snipe and bull rush one of Kane's Wave Force artilleries. So he's pretty much using his own units against them.
Yes, Kiwi is really in this game even now with Natasha, and he has just cranked out an apocalypse stamp. And once again Kiwi is going for that 4th refinery in the same position, GbH. The same land position, the 4th refinery position.
I think he feels like if he can get a turret or something on the high ground that could fire down when he's trying to attack, I think that could be very effective. I think that might be what he's trying to do, because he knows that he can't easily expand to the water because he doesn't have sea dominance. So he's just trying to take him wherever he can.
Yes, and GbH, KanesWrath has a lot of Kingonis with him, and he's also mixing up some shinobis. These are strange tactics from KanesWrath.
It is quite strange. I think he's trying to use that shinobi to try to take out the terror drone, so he can just run in, snipe that in one shot, so the King don't get stunned.
Yes, but GbH, when a bear roars, it stuns all the nearby shinobis, and he's got a lot of firepower of Kiwi, and he's on a 4th refinery as well. And the bears, yes, see GbH, the bear successfully neutralized that threat.
They do. I don't think he used the shinobis to their full effectiveness, but he is forcing the Soviet army back and is doing quite a bit of damage.
Yes, these are a lot of King Unis, and mixed with that destructive, vicious wave force artillery, you've got a destructive army with you.
Yes.
We
Taking
sur-
over another one of those King Onis with a Tesla Trooper this time, though.
yes, I was quite surprised not seeing much Tesla troopers, and the Kiwi is running away with his MCV, and he's decided to call it a day, and he has quit the game. This
That
was
was a very good defense from Kane there. I honestly thought that Kiwi would have taken it.
Yes, but GbH tactically, I think Kiwi didn't make an airfield, and he was very confident with the land army. But on the other hand, if you see the positive, Kiwi had a lot of tanks, and if a person is not making a particular mix of units, then he can concentrate on tanks and Tesla troopers, and they also make a very formidable army. And you saw that in the match, there was an instance where Kiwi almost broke through KanesWrath defenses, and he almost had this match.
Yes, but I think the biggest turning point in the game was the time where Kane got that sudden transport with the tank busters behind the base and managed to take out that super reactor because that gave him enough time to build up a big enough army
Yes,
and
yes,
back into
exactly,
it.
GbH. The super reactor is a very crucial ingredient in the Soviets' arsenal, and Kiwi, when he's in top form, he always walls it. He always has bears nearby. I don't know how KanesWrath somehow evaded all the bears and stuff and the terror drones, because Kiwi is very alert player. I think he's so alert. He's always maybe a security guard or something. He's that alert a person. And
He did have a V4 rocket launcher back that was trying to kill the tank busters, but it's not really the best unit choice, in my opinion. Because especially if you're next to a super reactor, because you might end up killing your own super reactor with a splash damage.
yes, KanesWrath really played mind games with Kiwi over there. And GbH once again in the end. I have played Soviets like a bit, and can you tell me, was it a tactical mistake for Kiwi not making airfield or any docks even? He never went for any docks, and he had a lot of refineries. He had 4 refineries at a stage, and he couldn't defend his C refinery. Was that a crucial moment when he lost that C refinery, GbH?
Um, I do think that he might have been able to keep that sea refinery alive, and if he did, then he would have actually had a chance to take water dominance and might have been able to take it. But yes, definitely he would need something to attack to harass those sea refineries. But he only saw one. He didn't see the bottom sea refinery until very late in the game. So maybe he didn't think it would be worth going for it. Maybe he didn't see the advantage of investing in the naval yard.
And GbH, KanesWrath did an excellent job in map awareness. You saw he killed the oil derrick. Not only he killed Evie's oil derrick, but also he's having burst drone in refinery positions where Kiwi might make a refinery at the sea. And also he has Yari subs scouting him all the time. So Kiwi really he's been scouted, and I was quite surprised why Kiwi let that happen, because Kiwi is an anti-scouter. He always kills the scouts. He really is killing all the scouts coming towards him. He realizes how important it is that not to be seen, and keeping the element of surprise.
Yes, but the thing about the Yari sub scout is that it can't be attacked by anything other than Tesla coils or the cooler subs.
Or terror drones, you
So
are forgetting,
yes,
GBH.
but um, Yari subs can kill turret drones a lot of the time. That's so I don't think that's really a viable counter, really. But the thing is, with the Yari subs, I think Kiwi thought that if he tried to build the naval yard and go back and kill the Yari sub scouts, that I think he thought that he wouldn't be able to get the naval yard out, so he didn't do it. But if he did, it would have been a completely different game because he would have forced Kane to be onto two refineries in the main base because he couldn't move through the middle of the map because the army was just too big. If he lost the sea refineries as well, I think that would have been game over.
Okay, GbH, final thoughts about this game, and also what message you would like to give to the new Soviet players.
Soviet players, I think that the most important unit in the Soviet arsenal is turret drones. If you can use turret drones effectively, they can make such a big difference in gameplay. As you saw, like from Kivi this game, he's been using the stasis ray from the turret drones to stun and will neutralize Empire vehicles very effectively. He's been using it to kill them with V4s, with hammer tanks, with all sorts of units, and they can just be used in many ways just to help your army.
Yes, GbH, but once again I'll say and point out that KanesWrath really had no tension from the air, the Empire player, when he feels that there is no threat, aerial threat to him, he'll spam and he'll always win the fights on land. Empire has the best land units in the game. I don't care what Soviet people think or other people think. I think Empire has the best unit combinations that are on land. And if you let an Empire player dominate and just neutralize the threat of air from them, they're going to dominate. Like KanesWrath, he just spammed Kingonis and mixed with IWs and busters and wave force artillery. What answers does Soviet have to wave force artillery? A terror drone it is killed like in a second.
What I find is, I don't agree that Empire has the best ground army until they get to tier 3. When they get to tier 3, then their ground army composition is really deadly. It can do so much damage.
And this is exactly what I was talking about, GPH. If you mix the tier 3 and it's a long game, right? And you have a mix in a Yuriko Mega and she just screams and 100 Tesla troopers around her will die in an instant. Well, this it's so overpowered on ground in the tier 3 department at least.
That's why you need twin blades. Twin blades. Try to when you try to attack an army with Wayforce artilleries, VXs, Yuriko, a bunch of tanks, and all that type of stuff, what I find works is attacking with twin blades, but you don't you don't want to get the splash damage on the twin blades, so you formation move in and then attack. And also, if you can, you try to avoid them getting attacked at all. And one way you can do this is by firing conscripts from bullfrogs up to soak up the damage from the VXs and Yuriko as well, possibly. So the twin blades can go in, take out the Wave Force artilleries, possibly a couple of VXs, and then run straight out of there.
That's very pretty nice ideas from you, GBH, and I hope we someday see these ideas implemented in action by you. Well, let's wrap up this game for now, and if anybody wants to send us a replay which they would like us to cast, please post it on our website or email me, which will be provided in the description of this video. I'm signing off and thank you all for joining us.